Our first lecture looks at the stages of international marketing involvement. But before we dive into those stages, let's give a brief introduction of what is international marketing. Now, you've already read the lecture content in the textbook, so you should have a good background here. But if we're going to define international marketing, we look at that as the performance of business activities designed to plan, price, promote, and direct the flow of a company's goods and services to consumers or users in more than one nation for profit. Now, marketing concepts, processes, principles are universally acceptable. So, everything that you've looked at in your introductory to marketing classes or marketing courses you've had that apply to marketing in the United States, those things still all apply. The big difference between domestic and international marketing is really just the environments within which the marketing plan is being implemented. The environment can change dramatically from country to country and even region to region around the world. And when we look at what the environment is, it includes factors like competition, legal restraints, government controls, weather, consumers, natural disasters, and even more factors. And you looked at some of those factors already in your reading of chapter 1. So you talked about the domestic environment uncontrollables, the foreign environment uncontrollables. All of those elements make up the environment, and that's how the marketing plan changes. So once a company has decided that they are going to get involved in international marketing, there are a couple different degrees to which they can do so. And there are a couple of factors that do help companies with faster internationalization. So there are companies that tend to be quicker when they are moving into other countries, and those companies are companies with high technology resources. So if you are more internet-based or service-based compared to traditional manufacturing, it tends to help with faster internationalization. We also see that companies that have smaller home markets and large production capacities do tend to internationalize faster. So if you already have a large home market or you have small production capacities, it's much harder to go international. Obviously, you need that large production capacity to increase your production of your product to sell overseas. The third factor, and maybe the most important factor, is that companies with managers who are well networked internationally also internationalize a lot faster. And we know networking is so successful in every aspect of business. And it's no different when you are networking internationally. So the more connections you can grow with people in other countries, the better that you will, the more likely a success you will have with internationalization. All right, so let's look at the stages of international marketing involvement. If we look at these, the first two stages of international marketing involvement are reactive in nature. They don't represent any type of strategic thinking about international expansion. These are companies who, as you will see, either hardly do any direct foreign marketing or who are really not even aware of the opportunities that exist to them. But the first stage of international marketing involvement is no direct foreign marketing. A company at this stage is not actively cultivating customers outside of their domestic boundaries. Sales can be made to foreign customers if those foreign customers directly contact the company. And we'll talk later this semester about how a lot of customers with the advent of the internet are directly contacting companies overseas. And so there is the occasional sale, but again, the company is not actively cultivating customers outside of their domestic boundaries. At this level, no direct foreign marketing. Wholesalers and distributors can sell abroad, but it generally happens without the knowledge of the producer. So this would be if a retail store or a third-party partner had entered another country and were selling your product without notifying you that they were doing so. And again, if there is a web presence or an internet presence, the international internet users can order those products. So that's looking at customers who are directly contacting the company in some fashion. The second stage of international marketing involvement is what we call infrequent foreign marketing. And at this stage of international marketing involvement, Sales to foreign markets are made as goods become available. So essentially what this means is if we have extra goods domestically, if maybe our production was higher than we expected, sales were lower than we expected, and we have these extra goods available, then we will sell them internationally to make sure that we're not actually losing money on that product production. The thing here is that if domestic demand were to increase, our foreign sales would stop, or definitely at least become less frequent. So as our domestic demand increases, we're not going to increase production. We're just going to sell those leftover goods or those extra goods we produced domestically instead of sending them abroad. So again, both of these stages are incredibly reactive in nature. When we move into the next three stages, we start to see some proactivity by the companies. The third level of international marketing involvement is what we call regular foreign marketing. And at this stage, the company has a permanent productive capacity devoted to the production of goods and services that are marketed in foreign countries. The primary focus of operations and productions is still to service that domestic market. But as overseas demand grows, companies at this level of international marketing involvement are allocating production specifically for foreign market needs. Also, at this stage of international marketing involvement, profit expectations move from being seen as a bonus to where the company is actually relying on those foreign sales to meet their goals. So they're including those foreign sales forecasts into their actual plans instead of just saying, hey, we made a little bit of extra money abroad. International marketing is the next stage here, and companies at this stage are fully committed to and involved in their international marketing activities. So at this point, companies are actively seeking markets all over the world to sell products that are a result of actual planned production. So planning entails not just marketing, but planning for the production of goods outside the home market. So with international marketing, we have identified countries where we think that we can sell our product, and we are producing our product for those countries. Now, the difference between international and global marketing is that at global marketing, which is the highest or the deepest stage of international marketing involvement, companies treat the world as one market. So market segmentation is no longer focusing on national borders, but instead we're grouping consumers by their income levels, their product usage factors, and other things that span countries and regions. So we're not even worried about geography. We don't even recognize those borders that exist. Also, when you reach this global marketing stage of international marketing involvement, these companies are generating at least half of their sales revenues from outside of their home market. So again, they are truly global. They're adapting their products to meet the needs of consumers in other countries. They're actively marketing, actively producing. They have manufacturing facilities in those other countries. They have employees and management and executives from other countries. And they are truly involved in the global marketplace. So the takeaway here is that there are 5 stages of international marketing involvement. The first 2 stages are reactive, with not a lot of strategic thinking by the company. The last 3 stages are proactive by the company. And once we reach this deepest level of international marketing involvement, we are truly treating the world as one market.